Good morning, everyone. This is B from Kongzarus, and welcome to our Sunday Funday show. Mrs. Kongzarus, my co-host, is still getting ready because it is a little bit wee early on a Sunday morning, but I appreciate everybody that's here so far. But today's episode should be pretty fun. We are going to be doing something that I love doing occasionally, is a good old-fashioned tier list. And so I thought about what would be fun to do on this Sunday. It's getting close to the end of 2021, and I was like, I wonder if there's an updated tier list through TierMaker for Arcade1Ups. And when I first looked, the last list that was on there from a template standpoint, there is I think was made in November of 2019 or something. So there was only one template on that website, tiermaker.com. If you've ever been there, there's a lot of templates for video games, characters, movies. You can rank pretty much anything geek culture wise, but there wasn't one for Arcade1Up. So I spent time last night and I looked up on Arcade1Up's website for every single cab that's listed on their website as a starting place. And I was like, wait a second, there's some cabs that aren't on their website that have been released and are announced too. And so I came up with a list of 50 Arcade1Up cabinets. So we're talking about the 3/4 scale, upright, sit down versions, the full size cabinets that my cats and everything can walk through. Not the cocktail tables, not the pinball tables, not the countercades. We know they've released a lot of other products, but I feel like they're cabinets, these kind of upright cabinets, are like the marquee thing for Arcade1Up. And so I wanted to rank every single one. So for folks that are in the chat, good morning, Bill, the collector. What's going on? Mikey J's here. Crumb's here. Crumb did the list already. Mike Hawk is here. Majin Ian. So Chicken Joy is here. Oh, thanks for the Voltron shirt. Shout out, Bill. Appreciate that. Good morning, Brian. For folks that are listening in chat, in the link of this description, I have a link to that TierMaker list. And so if you want to follow along and you want to make your own tier list, we're going to be ranking everything from S tier, A, B, C, and D, every single Arcade1Up cabinet that I know of. And so here's my quick ask for those that are here on the show pretty early, because dang, P-Dub's Arcade Loft is saying it's early. Let me know if I missed something. I think that's my number one question. I just 15 minutes before the show, I had been posting on Facebook. I made a post and I've been asking some folks like, hey, did I miss any cabinets that weren't on my tier list because it wasn't on Arcade1Up's website and it wasn't in my mind? I forgot Space Invaders. And so I added Space Invaders really quickly. So double check that if you can for me. I would appreciate it. Good morning, Donatine, EPT. Philos is here. Dewey Dawn, Darth Penguin. It's almost noon. That's right. It is early on the East Coast. But Dubs, what's going on? Thank you so much for being here. And I do feel a little bit lonely without a co-host. Mrs. Kongzarus is still getting up. She's getting her eyebrows did. And I can think of no better way to spend a Sunday fun day than hanging out with my guy, the one, the only Mr. RevV. What's going on, man?
Brother, you got to find a better way to spend your Sundays.
I can think of no better way to spend this hour, because I've been doing it the last like 5 weeks, man. It's been fun having you on the show.
It's been a riot, man. I appreciate it. You give me an avenue to be me in a little more calm way, which is good. Especially early morning like this. It's nice.
Yeah, so RevV from Put Your Quarters on the Glass, doing some awesome streams Friday night, doing stuff Tuesday. You're kind of like starting to do more things besides fight game community things. So how have you been enjoying, just getting more into the rest of the Arcade1Up scene? Because fighting games is your genre, but like a tier list like this, 50 Arcade1Up cabinets. What do you think about the rest of the retro community? You have thoughts on it, opinions?
Yeah, no, it's been fun, man. I think for the most part, I'm just, I don't want to, there's a lot of real estate in that community already that's been bought up, right? And so I'm being respectful, but what's great is the community is like, hey, do you want to come on? So like guys like you, guys like Mike of all trades, those are the guys out there who are like, hey, man, we'd love to have you on. And I love being a guest. I think it's a lot easier. I have my little Friday thing and that's keeping me busy right now. So, I love being a guest and I love that. And then, guys like you make it easy, man. You really do. So thank you.
I love it when I can guest on shows too. Like when you're doing something, like your show on Friday night, by the way, was super fun. Like I could play and listen and participate at the same time. And I can still kick Welcome to Die's ass while I'm talking and playing at the same time. Which
was it twice?
That was really fun. Yeah, twice.
And it's his birthday today too. So you gave him an early birthday gift.
Happy birthday. Welcome to Die. You're welcome for that ass whooping on Friday night. Check it out on Put Your Quarters on the Glass. I beat him in both Big Blue and Marvel vs. Capcom because he was calling me out live. But it's fun. Great, I think I did that once too. I think I was doing my Big Blue review and I was playing Rutabaga Man while I was filming the review, but I was talking while playing him. And then he caught my review and it commented, was like, now I feel extra bad that you were talking while you were playing me. So, dude, but do you ever do that? Do you ever like commentate to yourself while playing somebody else? Like I hear you like screaming and shouting, but like, how much do you ever play call yourself when you're playing something?
That's kind of where the root of it all came from. My wife said, you really got to put yourself online. Like you're funny. Yeah. And I was like, no way, man, I'm crazy. And she was like, that is what will work. So it was what I always did to myself and, you know, in the background and just started recording it. So
oh yeah, that's awesome. Cool. Oh man, I got a freaking $5 super chat from my guy, Twisted Gaming TV, Twisted Chris. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Twisted Chris got the first KI cab available. He has a review that I watched 30 minutes in depth comparing to the real cabinet. It's pretty awesome. So check it out. Thanks, Twisted Chris. Appreciate the $5 super chat.
Even more than that, he just released a follow-up video looking at input lag.
Oh,
so
okay.
From my perspective, that was gold, Chris. That right there, man, thank you for that one. That one was awesome.
Appreciate that. And for that, I'm taking a book out of our good friend 19K Fox. For folks that super chat, I like to share just a little snippets of Mrs. Kong's Arrest because she's not here. I think it's time to wake up with a little bit of a Tron dance.
How you like that? You gonna like
that? That's a good way to wake up, man.
Gonna be so sick of that. But it's funny enough when she did that, I've been showing her video. My kids have been watching that dance video. I can't replicate her dance. Dude. I tried like doing what she was doing. It's like her own move. I can't even do it, but it's super fun. So
it's the crew shuffle, man. It's the crew shuffle. I like it.
Yeah, the key to long reviews, Chris, add timestamps. Oh, not a bad suggestion for doing that if you can. Cool.
Can I give a quick shout out, my man? Mike J Productions. Just commented on Friday's stream. He said, man, I just got an iArcade and we had so much fun Friday. We went and bought a Big Blue. We're going to be putting our quarters on the glass as well. So shout out to Mike J Productions, man. Welcome to the community, bro. You're gonna
there's a couple people that actually messaged me individually. Rascal from Rascal's Basement Arcade messaged me, was like, hey, what do you really think about Big Blue? Is that something that you think I should get? Are the lobbies going to be empty? And I said at the moment, like to your point, I think SF2 games, you'll always find people, but it's the other ones that you'll have to set up outside of. I think like you'll always be able to start a lobby in those 3 games and somebody will join you in a few minutes. The other ones, I'm not too sure about those long term. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it'll take the key to that success is Arcade1Up fixing their UI. Let's be real, right? Like, you know, you can take the extra step and try to coordinate games and things like that within the community, but it shouldn't be that hard. It really should be very simple, built into the UI.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's going to be like, are they going to find a way for people to easily find what people are doing? Because I don't know. I think I've tried to sit in a lobby. Have you ever tried sitting in any of those other lobbies and seeing if people would join you?
I sat in Muscle Bomber Duo for the entire day. Like literally, I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to clock in like when I started my day.
Background while you were working?
I just left it there and legit all day, not one person joined.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And that one's a weird one. Like Muscle Bomber Duo is a tag team wrestling beat 'em up. So I figured somebody would be like, oh yeah, let's mash buttons. But the community really focuses on those first 4 games. Like Puzzle Fighter, I count in there because I'll give a game in Puzzle Fighter, not too tough at all. But Street Fighter, Hyper Fighting, Super Turbo, Puzzle Fighter, those are really the active games right now.
Yeah. Mikey J says, it's all your fault, Rev. It's all your fault. You're promoting Arcade1Up, getting people to buy cabs. But people.
It's going to be a blast, man. We're going to have a lot of fun with this Friday and the race to the end of Knights of the Round. It's going to be a riot.
And we saw P-Dubs make his online Street Fighter debut as well. We got a couple of P-Dubs matches in there. He was playing, showing it, and he wasn't afraid to take L's, which I really appreciate. And I think
like a champ, dude.
That's where people need to be able to be comfortable opening a room and just playing. You may find somebody that is a higher skill level, but you know, play 3, whatever you're comfortable. I'd say a minimum 3, 5 is good, is kind of like a typical. Is that like, what would you say is good etiquette for a beginner to learn on jumping into a matchup?
So there's, you know, it kind of goes back and forth, right? I think 3 is the easy number. Now the question is, do you play first of 3 or best of 3? Most people, I think, play best of 3. But I think anything over 3 games, you're starting to warm up. You're giving your opponent a chance to adapt to you, and you're not just going, okay, I'm in and out, that's it. Now, don't get me wrong. Phone calls happen. Real life happens. But proper etiquette, give your opponent 3 games.
Yeah, 3 games. That sounds about right. And Twisted Gaming TV, Twisted Chris, is going to be joining the community soon, too. He got himself a big blue. Hopefully by next Friday, he will be up on there as well. Overthink Gaming was there too. Big Blue Fridays. Kong was disrespectful. He beat me while talking on Rev's show. I did. I had a good FT like first to 10 set, but Overthink Gaming I think you actually got first to 10 on me. But I in his Discord when we were talking about playing, I said I would play anybody except Honda. So I was using all my other non-Honda characters. If you know me, Honda is my main. And here's my main boo right now. Hello, good morning.
Sorry.
How are you, Mrs. Kongs R Us?
I'm doing well. I'm not in the shot. There we go.
Hold on. All
I have to sit close to you.
Let me scoot over, get closer to me. I know this is a really funky chair. So we're sitting in my Outrun custom chair. I don't know, just making chairs here. But good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. I was hungry. And you know, where's my breakfast?
Yeah, I didn't make you breakfast. So is New joining the show sometime too?
You brought your queen on without the proper meal?
He goes like this. I'm like brushing my teeth, and he goes, 5 minutes. And I'm like, I can do all this in 5 minutes. Then all of a sudden I hear the intro music, and I was like, that is not freaking 5 minutes.
I gave you
News
good time.
eating breakfast right now.
This show has evolved. It used to be like downstairs, us like just literally like eating breakfast at our coffee table. And now I'm all like, no, we're going to make it more of an arcade show. But like, she's actually gotten into it now where before it used to be an optional thing where it'd be like, hey, you want to do a Sunday thing? And now she's like, what are we doing on Sunday morning? And I'm like, yes, she's hooked. She likes it. Awesome, she likes to stream repetition.
I'm also here to be able to drink at like 8 a.m. our time. So what up?
Yeah. Fringe benefits, my friend. Fringe benefits.
Yeah. And has New been enjoying kind of starting her own channel, making her own content?
Have you? She's eating. She
don't
want to get on camera when she's eating.
Oh, no.
Give her 5 minutes. She's eating. She's one of those girls who's like, I don't like to eat on camera. You know.
Okay, that's all right.
But yeah, no,
I don't give a rat's ass on eating on camera.
She's
see, smart. That's what I told her.
It's all good. It's all good.
But she's been branching out, doing some weird stuff with like art and doing some artsy stuff. You know, so just making it YouTube of her. So
that's good.
That chair looks like it's from He-Man. That's true.
Which one? What about this?
No, hers. Hers looks like the throne of Grayskull.
Oh, yeah. You
want to explain what it is?
It's a Cruisin' Blast, like legit arcade seat. I don't even know if it truly fits from Arcade Blast, but it's sitting on my old Outrun bench stool. So this is my Outrun cab bench that she's sitting on. But you know, I'm running out of space, and it's still here. We'll see if it's gonna stay.
I saw downstairs you have an At Legends arcade.
Yeah, I did get my Legends mini Tetris cab, which I debated back and forth about.
You bought a Tetris cab?
It's a Tetris cab.
So all you play is Tetris online.
No. It's skin like Tetris.
You know, you used to be able to do that on computers. Actually, you still can.
It's true. I don't know, but have you ever seen a Tetris arcade?
Not a Tetris, but maybe possibly a Tetris.
Yeah, I've never seen a real legit Tetris arcade machine in the wild, but it's skin like one. So I'm gonna be checking it out, and we're gonna see what it's about. But okay, so today's show topic, we've been talking for 15 minutes. Good chatting with Rev. The main topic of today's show is we made a tier list. We're doing a tier list. Do you know that Arcade1Up has released 50 Arcade1Up cabinets? I wonder if there's anybody that's literally collected them all. That's a lot of them. And we're just talking about not the pinballs, not the cocktails, not everything else, just 50 upright ones. That's a bunch. I mean, what do you think about that number?
I was blown away by the SKU number, man. Honestly, like legitimately, as I'm looking through this, I had to go on their website to figure out what is this? Like, what are some of these options? I was blown away by how many SKUs. Yeah. And this is, to your point, not the minis and not the cocktail cabinets. This is just 3/4 scale.
Exactly. And so what I did was to make my list, just to double check, I wanted to see what was on Arcade1Up's website. If you go to their website and you go to all Arcade1Up machines, there's 2 pages of all their machines, starting way back with the Gen 1s, the originator, the very first Street Fighter 2 cabinet. So they have a history of their Gen 1 cabinets that are listed here. But here's my problem. There's some cabinets that are not listed on their website. So I'm wondering and curious why Arcade1Up has like some of this historical stuff for these Gen 1 cabinets and Gen 2 cabinets, but not some of their other marquee titles that like I forgot Space Invaders, and like that's one of their cabinets that's on here, a couple of them. So I found 40 on this website between page 1 and page 2. And then 10 additional cabs that I know that have been released, skin versions of different variants that I also added on my tier list.
Do you think?
And it wouldn't be something that they lost the licensing, maybe?
Maybe that could be true. All right. Oh, so Mrs. Kongzura says, I have a super chat from Twisted Gaming TV that says, you want to read this?
The next $5. Oh, this $5 goes to Mrs. Kong for her next drink on me for being such a humble person. Well, you know what? Whoop. I will take your $5, go to Trader Joe's, buy myself a Mississippi Mud, because that saves me $3. I have $2 left over to possibly buy some snacks for the kids.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There it is. Thanks, Twisted Chris. Appreciate that.
But what's interesting is, if you go back to the site with the Arcade1Up,
yep,
it also includes the Mrs. Pac-Man partycade. So like the little ones count too?
Yeah, so what I didn't include all of the little ones too, because the website has the countercades, it has the cocktail tables, it has the head-to-head stuff, it has these partycades. So there's partycades, countercades, cocktail tables, there's babycades that are on here as well. So I didn't include all the extra stuff, just the full upright, because I think those are what I consider the marquee tables. But Mrs. Kongzurus, since Twisted Kiss gave another super chat, let's share one of our favorite breaking moments with Mrs. Kongzurus. It is this. I get.
All right. You spent how much on it?
$400. What? Why? What are you doing? Why would you do that? What the hell? Yeah, Sentinel Smash for you, Twisted Chris, breaking in the morning with the Mrs. Kongzura Sentinel Smash. We did your dance the other day. Do you want to show everybody your Tron dance live?
Why don't you just hit play and we'll watch it live together?
Yeah, you want to do it again? Yeah. Well, we already watched it once, so I wanted to see if you could actually.
Nope,
do it.
I am learning what I did.
She's like, nope.
Let me ask you, Mrs. Kongzurus, what are we drinking today?
I got some really sad watered down Keurig, which is funny because I know he's using this as a ploy to say, can we buy a new arcade? And it's like, no, we probably need to buy a new Keurig. I saw clear water coming out with my coffee.
Yeah.
And then I got me this. I don't know. This man is hilarious. Every time I say go buy wine or champagne for me, it's Ralph's 6 bottles for the 30% off.
Ah, yes.
So this is
Ogio.
Ogio Prosecco.
Hello, Lou. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. All right. Well, are you guys drinking anything yet? Sunday morning, too early?
I'm drinking, our bye tea.
Got your stuff.
I already had my coffee hours ago. So.
Oh yeah, she's been jacked and ready to go since 6:30 this morning. So
all right. So yeah, we're not including the game table with the board games yet. Just the full size upright cap. So if there's something that I'm missing, so here's my list. I know there's a ton of variations of Pac-Mans too. I tried to get. I didn't do like the variants that still look the same. Like if there was a Costco MK2 with the light up. I did like the unique skin cab that truly had something, or if it was on their website, which there is one that's on there 3 times that I was kind of questioning, but it's on their website 3 times, so I did include that one. So let me know if there's something that I'm missing. Mike Hawkhart says he has an SF2 head-to-head in his box for 2 years. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of people that I have some unopened cabs in my garage too. But all right, so let's get to the list, the tier list. Just 2. There's 2 in the garage right now.
That I can.
You have 2 Arcade1Ups in the box?
Yeah, I have a Simpsons in the garage right now, and an At Games Legends mini that's not built yet. But
well, you know, your boy Christmas is coming up, and I don't have an At Games Legend. So if you get bored, you know,
Tetris time. Yeah, man.
There you go.
There's some good stuff. All right, so let's get to the tier list, the thing that we wanted to talk about for today's show. So this is the Arcade1Up tier list that I made through TierMaker.com. So this is a cool, pretty awesome website where if you create an account, you can create your own tier list to share, and it's not sharing. Whoops, is it not sharing? I'm sharing the wrong screen.
Uh-oh, now you have to actually say, I'm going to share a screen.
Well, let me talk to Mrs. Kongdiaras and say, how else is your morning going? Is it going pretty well so far?
It's going great once I can see the share screen.
Yes, the share screen. Here it is. Here's my TierMaker list. So if you've never done a tier list, you can create whatever you want to. You just add pictures at the bottom, and then you can create a tier list. And this is your standard rankings. Your S tier, which is your top tier, top box. I would say like top 1 to 5% should be your S tiers. You shouldn't have too many in your S tiers, and then your grading scale from A to D down here. So this is kind of what you would do typically, go through one by one. And I did at all 40. The first 40 that you see are the ones that are directly on the Arcade1Up website. The last 10 that you see starting here are ones that aren't on their website, that are completely missing. So I think that's the first thing that I want to address, is that they have all these cabinets here, and they forgot Asteroids Deluxe, the Centipede 12-in-1, our favorite cab, Rev. Marvel vs. Capcom is not on Arcade1Up's website, by the way. Like,
sold out?
No, it was a Best Buy exclusive at first, but they never listed this variant, which is not even a variant. It's a different cab than X-Men vs. Street Fighter. It's not on their website, which was like blasphemy.
It's not a reskin. It's a different cab.
It's a different cab, and it's not on their website. Super Pac-Man isn't on their website, plus the newer Defender Midway Legacy, the Galaga Namco Legacy, and then we have the Supreme MK, the Chinatown Market NBA Jam, and Space Invaders. So these 10 cabs are not listed on their website. Everything else is here. I'm just going to run down the list really quickly, and I want to check chat. If you can check chat for me, tell me if I missed something, because we can't make the tier list if we truly miss something. So here's the list. Here it goes. Gen 1 Street Fighter 2, Centipede, Galaga, Pac-Man, Rampage, Final Fight, MK2, Golden Tee. This yellow skin theme, this is the Marvel Superheroes limited edition one with the sandwall buttons. That's why it's yellow trimmed, right? Then we have Upright Star Wars, the blue trimmed Marvel Superheroes, the regular one here. TMNT, Burger Time, NBA Jam, Frogger, 40th Anniversary Pac-Man, Sit Down Star Wars, Golden Axe, Miss Pac-Man, Buck Hunter Pro, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Sit Down Outrun, Big Buck World, which I put separately. It's on their website twice. Then we have the Legacy cabs, Atari Legacy, Pac-Man Legacy, Capcom Legacy. Then there's some unreleased cabs that are still on their website right now. Dragon's Lair is on their website still as of today. Killer Instinct, X-Men. So was Space Ace as a separate cab. So I included them because they're unreleased, but they're still on Arcade1Up's website. And this one is weird. This Superheroes cab right here, it's the same, but it's listed one more time as like another QVC edition one that has the light up marquee. So this is like, I included it because it's on their website listed 3 times, but technically, like, that was the one where it's like, why is Marvel vs. Superheroes listed 3 times? This one is listed on their website legitimately, 3 different times. So that's why I included it. Then we have Midway Legacy, Turtles in Time, Big Blue, Class of 81, Simpsons, Stand Up Outrun, Ridge Racer, Tron, T2, and then the 10 cams that I listed. So that's the list.
I have to say,
yes,
slightly impressed that you memorized all the cabs, the orientation, and the type of details. You don't remember to toss out the trash when I say to toss out the trash at 5 p.m.
We're not on a schedule for throwing out trash. Is that a thing? She's trying to roast me live on YouTube.
No, but it's actually impressive when you think about it. Like the fact that he was able to like store a piece of memory for each image and its location and why it's specific to that detail.
Yeah. All right.
It's priorities. That's all it is.
It's a hobby. I think any of us that are in this long, like, recognize and know and have been following this. And I started in 2019 late to the game. So Street Fighter 2 was my first cab. Rev, when did you first start getting into this? Was Marvel vs. Capcom your first cab?
Yeah,
is that when you joined
December of 2019 when they released the MVC at Best Buy.
MVC 2020, last year, just last December. It's been a year.
No, 2019.
No, 2020. Oh, Marvel Superheroes? Because
no, MVC came out in
2020. No, it came out last December. It's only a year old, bro. We've only been doing this for a year.
Can we just rock, paper, scissors it? Like, you know.
It's too early for him.
I've been in the basement for that long, man. Oh my God. So how long have I been doing this for?
1 year.
A year.
It's been a year since MPC came out, like December 14th last year. I remember it's pretty unique when it first came out. I'm pretty.
Does anyone help us confirm this? I mean, I could just pull up my phone, but that's not fun.
You could, but we have.
MPC came out in 2020, so yeah, I would have gotten it. Like it was. I remember I got it in December, right? And then, damn, I'm old.
Happy anniversary,
they
man.
say Viagra helps with Alzheimer's.
Oh man, $5 super chat from Brad D. Thank you so much for the booze.
Thank you.
We appreciate that so much. All right, so now we can do your dance, and you can dance live.
How you like that? You gonna like that?
No, she doesn't like it. She's not.
I'm the old lady in the club who's like, we're paying for table service. I'm sitting.
So
yeah, we do that. We do that, and then everyone looks at us like we're the cops. Like, hello, kids.
Yeah.
Do you happen to know Molly?
So Zero Hero asked about the criteria about ranking them. So it's really the thing about tier lists. It's whatever you want, whatever criteria you think makes it S tier. Could be quality, could be price, it could be your own nostalgia factor. In fact, Rev did his own tier list before this, and his tier list is way different than mine. And there's no right or wrong answer except for the ones. There were a couple wrong ones, Rev, on your list, but I'm just kidding. But otherwise, it's really everybody's opinions about it. I'm curious if from even a nostalgia standpoint too, I'm curious what Mrs. Kong Us and New would be thinking about these cabs just based off of it. So we might do a little round table, might see where you might think cab should be, but put it into the chat where you guys might want to see your stuff.
So are we missing someone had mentioned Zero Hero said, are we counting bundles, for example, Mortal Kombat Gen 1 combo or Costco?
No, so I did whatever was on their website plus unique skin cabs that I missed. So the bundle cabs for Gen, I know the Mortal Kombat bundle was slightly different, but like I didn't find a variant for that to put on there.
And then thanks Philly Chick for catching the stand-up Star Wars at the top.
Oh, that's top row. No, she's saying it should be top tier. She's saying it should be S tier. There's also an Asteroids cab 6-in-1 sold at Costco with about half of those returned for quality issues. Interesting. Wow. Interesting. Okay, 6-in-1 deluxe. Arcade1Up had a Final cap. Yep, Final Fight is on there. That's the 6th one on the top row. And Walter Harris gave another $5 super chat that says, "You guys are inspiring me to get my wife to play in the arcade with me. How much playtime are New and Mrs. Kong putting into the cabs?"
You got a question?
How much time are we putting in? Oh, not a whole lot of time. But look, here's the problem. When he's down here, which is most of the time, look how much space he takes up. Like when I want to play one of these, I have to like inch in there and he's like, "What are you doing? Get out of there. Get out of my space." So, it's a
working office, guys. It's a working office.
But actually, we were thinking about playing today. The Knights of the Round.
We're gonna do a full Knights of the Round playthrough and kind of stream it today, just to see in preparation for next week. So
nice. How about you?
How long do we record these videos for? Maybe like 2 hours whenever we do an edit. Okay, so 2 hours every couple of months.
The only time she literally plays the games is when she gets dressed up like this.
Hi, this is Mrs. Kong's Rust, and are you ready to throw down on Arcade1Up's Big Blue? Well, let's go.
She's smaller than Big Blue.
Yeah, she is.
I could fit into the Big Blue cab. You guys want to see?
No. You do not fit into any Arcade1Up cabinets. This you do not. No. That will not be happening.
Look how serious he just got there. He's like, no.
I was like, as fun as it was and the memories it provided, I've been modding my Tron Arcade1Up, and it's been annoying not having a bottom panel because I can't put my PC anywhere like permanently.
What lies? He said, "Oh, this is great. I could put my PC right on the riser."
I can, but when I had to take it off and like actually do stuff to it, it was a little bit. Somewhat.
All right, I gotta save all that booze money for your Arcade1Up. So, are any more of those like super chats?
Pac-Man 40th, they're saying.
Yeah. Pac-Man 40th. I think Pac-Man 40th is the wood grain one on the second row, so that should be there.
Yeah.
All right, trailer came out in 2020. I tried to do that dance, but 0 he would hurt himself.
You throw a hip out.
All right. Hey, what's up? Al Ava's here. Al's awesome. Made my
Hello.
logo. Very, very cool. All right. So people are saying what they did. Okay. I don't think I missed anything. What about the NBA Jam Costco edition, the one with the basketball joysticks? Yeah. So there's slight variants that I didn't include. If it wasn't that like big enough of a variant to have like its own reskin, I didn't include that unless the only type of variant I included was the Marvel superheroes because it was on their website 3 times. So that's it. All right. So no fitting into our cabinets anymore. Poor Tron. How tall is Big Blue? It's about 5'6", I think. If I forget the exact height, but it's about 5'6" tall. All right. We need a Silent Hill home arcade. And then Mrs. Kong could dress up like the Silent Hill nurse. The great Terry Red is here in chat. Do you have any idea who Terry Red is, Rev?
I am so sorry. No.
It's okay because you're not into the VPin community. But for those that are into virtual pinball, Terry Red is one of the pioneers of virtual pinball. He was one of the first persons to build his own cabinet. He actually designs actual virtual pinball tables. He's making a Silent Hill version of pinball.
The table itself,
pinball.
like the play
yeah,
table.
like he's like going in and programming like all the table functions and the lights and things, his own custom version of it. But thanks, Terry, for being here. Just a huge fan. He's a virtual pinball nerd, but I'm glad that he's here checking it out. Hope you can get into the regular arcade community too, Terry. Be cool. Mrs. Kong could fit into anything. You know, that is a funny story because yesterday, what was it? A couple of days ago, when we get new packages from Amazon, it comes in these like different size arcade or boxes, and like the cats will jump in and then the kids will jump in. And then she's literally just like jumping into, I have a video of her just jumping into a box. I'm like, is this a thing now? Like, do you just, if it fits, you sit? Are you trying to be a cat? Essentially.
Say her spirit animal is a cat.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Mrs. Kong was just trying to get herself into the MCP world by getting to the cab. That would be a fun.
One step.
Yeah. All right. Silent Hill Pinball could be the best digital pinball table ever. I got to get that. Tron Cabinet has recovered, Mrs. Kong. It has. All right. So let's get into this tier list and get to our rankings and just start working on this because I want to get through this in the next 30 minutes or so. All right. So we're starting with the very first one. Street Fighter 2 was my first cab. This has like a nostalgia factor for me. It's not a great cab, but I'm going to put it as a B list. Like, Rev, where did you rank your Street Fighter 2 Gen 1 cab?
Let me pull it up. I think I gave it doo-doo butter rank.
Doo-doo butter? Any of the Gen 1s, you're like, meh.
Like, I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, I saw these on back in the day, and it just didn't impress me. I got to pull it up. My thing disappeared. So Street Fighter
D.
Man, I gave it a D.
So it only gets a little bit higher for me because the quality of this cab when I first got it was actually literally trash. The left joystick didn't work. I had to replace it, and I already had to figure out how to mod it. But it's nostalgic for me. So I'm ranking it higher personally just due to nostalgia factor. It's the cab that got me into buying it. So from the factor of walking somewhere and just being able to say, hey, I can buy this, that's why it's higher for me. But quality standpoint, it's really doo-doo.
It's the gatekeeper drug for you.
It's the gatekeeper one. So a lot of the Gen 1 cabs, and like I think these are really interesting cabs. There's a Centipede cab that I didn't really get into. All these Gen 1 cabs, like from a control standpoint, I think they were fun for what they were at the time. They weren't complete trash because it was like I have a nostalgic factor for these cabs that were bringing unique controls. Centipede was really unique. Galaga was really unique. I think these are C ones, knowing what's coming up ahead of time. I think for me, the cabs that have to be like super trash are the ones that were just horrible all around. And then I had experience with. In fact, I think the first Pac-Man that I ever got, this is probably like my first D tier. Pac-Man Gen 1, even though it was simplistic, the game list wasn't that great. There was no lit marquee. These are all your standard $300 cabs. I had to buy a riser for it. It probably was, just compared to all the other Pac-Mans, is like my first D list. Where did you put Pac-Man? Such an iconic game on your list.
I gave both the last cabs Ds.
All Ds? Just kind of throwing them in there? Why? What's your reasoning for all these early Gen 1 cabs being Ds?
Twofold. One, like the idea of the game that can be played on a cell phone from 20 years ago doesn't really spark my interest. Number two, there's no online. And number three, like that generation of games for me was actually Atari at home for me.
Oh,
like
okay.
I was too young to be in the arcade at that point. It was at home. Like you could play it at your cousin's house or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So that, I mean, that makes sense because of when I played those games, yeah, it wasn't in an arcade for me personally. And so that definitely makes sense. I think everybody's going to have a different tier list. Rampage was a game I do remember playing, but this was one of their first cabs that had a 3-player deck. But I'm breaking it a C for pure nostalgic reasons because I liked it. But from a quality standpoint, 3 joysticks. Imagine your Marvel vs. Capcom, but with 3 joysticks on it. Like, imagine 3 people playing that. Probably pretty terrible from a playability standpoint. But I'm adding nostalgiability from a form factor for one of the first 3-player cabs on there.
I gave it a B for 3-player cab and the game list, and Rampage was one of my first arcade games I remember playing.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool. All right, so Final Fight, and I never got all these Gen 1 cabs, but Final Fight, I don't know. This had a good game list for me, so I think I'm gonna leave it as a B as well. And you can I'm pretty harsh. Like these extremes, like S's and D's are hard for me because I have a very big extreme. Go ahead.
B or C for Final Fight. You put it on C, but you said
I put it as C. Sorry, C tier. It's not good enough because the games list is pretty decent. At 1944 on it, had Strider on it as well. So it's a good game list, but it's just not high enough from a quality standpoint. All these Gen 1 cabs, they're not going to get higher than B except for SF2 just because of the nostalgia factor for me.
I gave it a B just for nostalgia. So
yeah, Final Fight. Yeah. Guy was your guy.
Classic.
Who was your guy? Guy Hager. Cody?
I love me some Hager. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just some big old Mayor Hager beating people with pipes.
I know. That's so good. All right. So MK2, MK2, right? So this was the MK2 that came out. No marquee. There's so many variations of this particular cab as well, but I'm just going to use this one. This gets a B for me for right now. Like this version of MK2, there's going to be so many different versions of it. But yeah, this one was good. I had the 3 games that worked fairly well for at the time, and Mortal Kombat was so iconic for me. Yeah, it's gonna go right up there for B tier for me.
I gave it a D because 1, there's so many variations of it.
Yeah.
2, it's Mortal Kombat and not Street Fighter, and 3, because Zohar sucks. So I was like, it's going in the D.
Oh, that's too funny. That's good stuff.
All love Zohar. All love.
Right.
I love you.
So this might be my first controversial one too. So Golden Tee on a lot of people's list is like S tier. Like they think it's like one of the best cabs for them, and it's a bar game. But I never played Golden Tee ever growing up, so for me this is like a nostalgia one that's gonna go like down here on C. Like I've played it. I had it in my arcade. It's one of the first Arcade1Ups I've ever sold, like just literally sold, because I couldn't get anybody in my family to play it. So this is just like a personal thing where if I can get my family to enjoy it and play it, then it's going to just be on my list. It's actually one of the ones I got rid of.
We both would agree it's a D because we worked in bars where those things were everywhere, and it's PTSD. Yeah. I hate that game. And the douchebags that played it back in 2000. So, yeah.
So you're imagining douchebags. So, I mean, it's true. When you think about cabs, you kind of relate it to memories and see. So, yeah.
The smell, the sound, everything, especially sound with these things.
All right. So, here's so the Marvel Superheroes Limited Edition Sanwa one. Actually, I'm going to put this in D tier from the offering standpoint of this cabinet, even though it was the first cabinet that included the Samwa buttons and the sticks and the price point, it was just a weird offering for Arcade1Up, like just the Samwa limited edition bundle. And the problem of it being so bad as a bundle, it kind of set up Arcade1Up's excuses moving forward that, hey, we tried to put Samwa buttons into an Arcade1Up and it sold poorly because the package was poor. I don't know. Like, how do you feel about that bundle?
You bring up a really good point, and I literally just moved it down. So I had it in the B system because of Punisher. It's the only time that Punisher's been released is on that cabinet, right? And so, but to your point, it set them up for future failure by actually producing higher quality and then not delivering on it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I don't know how people feel about it. I mean, it probably could be higher, and people can argue. That's the whole point of a tier list. But I think because of that, every time I hear John D make that excuse about like, we tried it and it sucked, I'm like, do it on another cab that's more popular or something. Like, do it on something that people are gonna legit would pay an extra $50 for better freaking buttons, because the buttons are so terrible.
And it didn't have online either, right? So it's a street fighting game with no online again. And it's like
Damon Williams agrees with you. Putting Samwa buttons in the tier T.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine putting Samwa buttons in tier T stuff, but agree.
I love like Jamie Logan said is, do you know what's the best part of winter in Minnesota? Hanging out in your warm arcade.
Ah, true. It is cold in California. It's like 60 degrees, and we're like bundled up.
Dude, shut up. I have 7 inches of snow in my front yard right now.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, like we were so cold last night. It was like we opened the window and all the kids are like,
yeah. You know, like then you just, it's California. It's so hot.
It's so bad. It's so terrible. It's so
Californians
terrible.
with your 60-degree winters, you have no idea.
All right. So here we're getting to Star Wars Arcade1Up. My very first S tier rank, the cab that like literally even was the maker of my arcade of my channel. It started this the whole thing. Unique controls, the design, the shape, the heights, the games. This was S tier for me. Where did you put this, Rev? This is Hertz. This is where you said it was wrong.
Yeah, so I could be wrong. You could change my mind here. So bear with me. I gave it a C because there's a sit down version. Is it a different sit down version?
It's just a bench versus an upright. That's the
only reason. This gets a C because they allow us fat bastards to sit down and then they're going to try to sell you skinny people.
But so here's the problem though. Have you ever sat down on one of these lame ass benches?
No, or is it bad?
It's pretty bad. It's just the whole bench,
and a little bench.
The whole You're how tall are you? 6 foot?
6'1". Yeah,
6'1". Like so you're 6'1", like leaning over this giant bench. It's like if you ever watch P-Dub's video of his sit down outrun, like you can imagine yourself in this really awkward position trying to sit down. It's not the experience of like sitting down in its nice big arcade cockpit. It's like sitting down and playing.
Bro, for me, I get to put myself in role play in the shoes of one of those TIE fighters or one of the X-Wings. I'll be Porkins. I'll be Red Team Porkins.
All right, put in the chat if Rev is smoking, because a C for Star Wars stand up. I don't know. That's where you're wrong, bro. But you prefer playing sitting down. I see it. I get it. You don't have risers on any of your cabs, right? They're all sitting down.
Correct.
That's how he plays. That's how he prefers it.
That's what Terry Red says. Is never like playing stand-up racing games. They must be sit down.
Yeah, that's true. Right. That's right. Philly Chickens. That's right. Blasphemy. The sit downs will give you hemorrhoids. Okay. So
which is interesting because I think they've made the sit downs for little Asian women like me because I sit down just fine.
Yeah, and I think all the Marvel superhero games, like I never played the Marvel superhero games. I'm just gonna put it in my D list too. For me, like that game list didn't really do it for me, and like it wasn't the versus game.
Even then, it's like, guys, you recreated the same thing better later.
Yeah, and so that's still D list for me. That particular cat, there's no nostalgia factor for Marvel superheroes in that game list for me, so that's why it's there. Oh, TMNT. All right, so this one, ooh, I for me personally, this is like one of my first 4 cabs I ever bought. So TMNT, the first 4-player cab that I ever bought, so nostalgic. It was one of the things where I was like, I'm gonna mod it. It's there in the background with just a bunch of toys on it right now, but it was gonna be like my forever beat 'em up cab. So it has a special place for me. So TMNT, that artwork, that side, I absolutely remember playing that. So that's an A tier for me. TMNT for you, Rev. Where did it go?
I went C, and only because of their later TMNT release that came out.
Oh, but that artwork is so bougie.
Yeah.
It's so...
So like, I don't like the 1984 April O'Neil like B-roll actress on the side. It's janky as hell.
But that's what you saw.
But you like the funky looking like fake turtles on the side of those cabinets. Instead, it looked like the movie versions of turtles that were on the Turtles in Time one.
Like the full-on Corey Feldman full body suits.
Yeah. Well, and it has online play, but for that, I don't know. For me, I think just because of the artwork, that's gonna go into my B tier.
I know that's what Mike.
I gave that one an A for the online.
It's online. So online play does make a difference, but it's not going to be higher for me. It's just artwork. And again, that's that you, however you want it. But
game lists are the same.
Game lists are exactly the same. It's 2 games. Okay. One is online, one's not. I think I'm just putting it B because I don't like the artwork, and I like and the coin doors are nicer. It's more expensive, but I mean original TMNT all the way. If they had reskinned this just as the regular TMNT, in fact, little small side story, when we were with John D, he was saying that like he had the option of going with the original skin or the Turtles in Time skin for the online one, and was the one that made that final call to say, I think people would want the Turtles in Time one, but now everybody's blasting and saying it should have been the original reskin to be the online. So he's all like, yep, should have did it. So,
but he does love to say the tit look good.
The tit looks so good. That's what he likes to say. Yeah, turtles in time. All right, burger time. This was a really cool, fun skin looking cab. I'm gonna put this burger time. Do you like this game at all?
I gave it a C because of the nostalgia factor.
I think just because of the unique shape cab, it's the only cab that ever has this design. So I think just from a form factor standpoint too, like it's not the best game list. It's not like aggressive, but it's actually pretty up there for me and in terms of having that unique design. All right, NBA Jam. All right, so this cab, even though I don't have it, this is an A cab for me. One of the first online cabs ever. The gameplay of the 3 sports games for sports fans. It's iconic. It's great. So where did you rank this?
Unless I'm wrong on the Chinatown, because ignorantly I don't know the Chinatown one. This is my first S tier. This is my first S tier. Absolutely. Yeah. I don't own it, and I'm putting it in S tier. And the reason is the availability. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Oh yeah. Right. Like NBA Jam. I'm on fire. So one, it's got so much inspiration for what I do coming out of the NBA Jam cam with the boom shakalaka and the talking trash, the online gameplay. Plus, this is the first cab with voice chat, and people are underestimating that I think will also be rolling into the future of more cabs. Yeah, it was just like amazing that they even got the licenses to do. I think this is one of those like, hey, can they ever do this? Can they pay all those famous people to be still in this cab? And he did it, right? So this really does show that licensing can happen for these old games that had hard licenses to get. So there was like 3 players, I think NBA players they couldn't include, but then they found a fix for it, right? So yeah, they just reskinned them.
Yeah, and so to your So to your point, the Chinatown Market cab, it's just a reskin with the brand Chinatown Market. And so for me, any of these reskin cabs, personally, they're just going to be my D tier because they're not really that accessible, and I personally don't like the look of them. So Supreme, I'm sorry, Chinatown Market, just for me, they're so niche. They're my D tiers because they're so niche, and I don't have any affinity for those brands.
I put the Mortal Kombat Red in B. Because it is Mortal Kombat. The box looks amazing. I actually got to see this thing. And if I'm, out of the Mortal Kombat options, this one just looks better in my opinion.
If you like Supreme, yes. But otherwise, like it looks like he's wearing a giant thing of toothpaste. If Supreme were something. So
I can dig it.
Yeah. But it's everybody's opinions. Oh, Frogger. So here's my other just ugly ass looking cab is going to my D tier list. Like this is legit probably one of the ugliest cabs that I've ever seen from a Frogger standpoint. Like this half top with the wood on the side, and it just looks like a checkerboard here. Like I just, from a look standpoint, as being one of the biggest reasons why I buy arcades, it's maybe the gameplay is okay, but it's my D tier.
I love the biggest reason why you buy arcades. Your arcades stack up right next to each other. You don't get to see the side art as well.
I don't get to see the side art, but I know it's there, right?
I gave this one a D for doo-doo butter as well.
Doo-doo butter, yeah. Has anybody tried voice chat for NBA Jam? I don't know.
Yeah, Footy has.
Yeah?
Well, Sony 4K says if you're interested, Walmart has NBA Jam for $99.75. So
they did. I know. I was searching. I was like, if I would have been able to find an NBA Jam for super cheap on sale, it would have been in my collection. But yeah, Frogger is ugly. All right, so Pac-Man 40th. So the wood grain in this kind of first cabaret style. Is it cabaret style? I think that's what it is. The wood grain one. There's so many variations of Pac-Man, but I'm just not a fan of this style. Like personally, I don't have nostalgia for the wood grain, so I don't like the look of this. So just from a pure look standpoint, and there's many versions of this. This is going to my C tier list.
I gave it a C as well. So yeah, same.
Let's just go through the rest of the Pac-Man since we're talking about them because there's so many different versions of him. There was the Miss Pac-Man. I think from they were able to even just get this cab. It goes into my B list.
Whoa, somebody earlier said it has to go into the A or S.
S tier? Miss Pac-Man?
Oh. Yes.
Well, because there's a couple of different versions of Miss Pac-Man, but this one, the very first version, Miss Pac-Man, was also a win from a licensing standpoint.
Majin Ian said.
Yeah.
Oh, A, B or A. Okay, never mind.
The wood grain graphic is on top of cheap MDF. Yeah.
I gave this one a C just because of the sheer number of Pac-Man options that are available.
Yeah. So then there's the the Pac-Man Legacy. So they reskin. This is Namco Legacy with a bunch of 12-in-1 options. I would say, yeah, from the updated skin versions of the cabs, I'm gonna give this a C. Like all the legacies or B, a minimum B's for the legacy cabs. These are probably your best value cabinets moving forward because it comes with 12 games. It's reskinned pretty well. It has a pretty decent riser.
Coin door.
Coin door. It's a faux coin door like sticker though. It's kind of like weird. But from an S tier standpoint, maybe A tier. I'm gonna put Class of '81 Galaga as like an A tier. So this version of Pac-Man, I really, really like.
Sorry to interrupt, but Curtis Heartcade says, missed the beginning. What does the S represent?
S tier is like from a ranking standpoint, is like
it's for super duper.
Super duper. Yes. It's like you have A, B, C, D, but S is just godlike. It's just like from, I don't know, where did that come from? Where do you know where it originates from?
I think it's like maybe like a I think it might be fighting game. I heard it first in fighting games.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true. They use TierMakers in a lot of fighting game genres, but yeah, S class is just generally considered like super.
It's the broken characters, the characters that are, you know, it was like, oh man, these are better than everybody for every obvious reason.
I remember playing Final Fantasy VII and doing chocobo racing for 10 hours.
Oh yeah.
And one of the classes for that was S tier chocobos, right? You have to breed A classes and race them to get an S class, and you have to get them all. So it's been around for a long, long time, but that was my first time being like, I need an S class chocobo for Final Fantasy VII to get a Go chocobo. But yeah, that's my S class.
Sure.
S for Star Wars. Yeah.
Which is currently the only arcade.
The Pizza Hut Pac-Man. I forgot about that one. Yeah.
There's a Pizza Hut Pac-Man.
There's a Pizza Hut Pac-Man that I forgot to add into the tier list. All right. I'll edit the tier list template later and add that in, but I didn't put it into this version. Oh, and there's Super Pac-Man, which was a Costco version. And this is just like straight ugly for me. Because I have no nostalgia for Super Pac-Man. So but it has a good game list though. I'm gonna put it D for ugly, but for their game list, it's a C.
You know, I had it at C. I moved it to D because it's ugly. I'll put it back at C because the game list is legit. Uh-oh.
no.
Uh-oh.
What happened?
Kong, am I the only one here? Am I frozen or are they frozen? Hey.
Oh, it came back. We're back. Are we good?
All right. That got awkward for a second.
I did, huh? Sorry about that. It just said low internet, not connected for a second. You know, somebody's been nipping at the where the cat's at. Are they stepping on stuff?
No,
you know?
they're downstairs.
All right. Anyways, Class of '81 gets a high ranking for me because of the online connectability factor. And so I saw P-Dub's review of Class of '81, and if I have the Ms. Pac-Man, I think I would trade in my regular Ms. Pac-Man for a Class of '81 because of the online play.
Big Cat Toe Tip explain what S tier is. S tier is from shu in Japanese, meaning excellent, used in school grading.
Oh, nice. So it's a Japanese thing. Interesting. Very good.
That means your kid is smarter than the smart kid.
Yeah. Yeah, so that makes sense. S tier. All right, here we go. So let's go. Sit down Star Wars. Again, this is just not as good of an offering, but all right, since it's still the same cab and my version of it is sitting at an S tier, I just put the sit down as an A tier because if you can still get it, it's still an amazing cab. You know, from the bench standpoint, it gets a grade down for me. All right, Golden Axe.
Just because of that, damn.
Just because of that. Well, you don't even you have it way low, but like, you know, Star Wars is top tier because of the yoke controls. If you haven't played one, if there's one cab you should like, if you want unique controls, and like that's where my mod gets famous for, is because you can turn the yoke into a steering wheel. The mod ability potential is off the charts. Golden Axe has a really high nostalgia factor for me, but it takes up a lot of space. I'm gonna put that in the B tier. Golden Axe for you? Good,
C because of PTSD. That thing 8 quarters like nobody's business.
All right, Buck Hunter Pro, first shooting cab. The Buck Hunter Pro skin gets a C for me. Just I didn't like the Pro design more. I actually have Big Buck World, and so that one for me gets a B tier. I just like the World design better than the Pro design, which is the one that I have, and it's Mrs. Kongzera's debut as Big Hunter Girl on the channel. That was fun. So it has some nostalgic place for me. Buck Hunter. Where do the Buck Hunters land for you? shooting
I
cabs.
gave him D's because we have to do big buck hunting to stay alive where I live. You know what I mean? Like that's just part of life.
All right, X-Men v
IRL.
Street Fighter. All right, so getting into the online fighting genres. All right, so X-Men cab gets an A for me because that's still an online version of the cab. All right, here's my second S tier. I'm just gonna put them together because we know.
You gotta say hi to your buddy Bobby because he's on break right now.
Oh, is he? Oh, my boy, Bobby Vu, clean like a mother.
Clean.
Yeah, to die for. There it is. What's up, Bobby? We're doing S tier rankings, and there it is, my second S tier ranking because we got to X-Men versus Street Fighter. These are like two peas in a pod. They go together, right? X-Men v Street Fighter, Marvel versus Capcom. There were variants of each other, but with slightly different game lists. But the art for this cab, I mean, it was just so off the hook. I mean, this is what hooked you, right? Special place in your heart, S tier, our first S tier agreement.
I match you up. MVC S tier, X-Men versus Street Fighter A tier. You could argue X-Men is S tier because of the price. It's $350.
Yeah, and you can play that same online system and lobby with everybody else. But from an art standpoint, the package, it's still the best value, and it's my most played cab, like the most quarters. Or if I put that in, over 5,000 matches. It's definitely high for me. All right, so the outruns, we have sit down outrun and stand up outrun. So sit down outrun, just from a nostalgic standpoint, is actually I'm gonna put the sit down outrun. I don't know. I think for me, because of I modded it, I'm gonna put it as a B tier. Like that was the first cab that I got. Was actually the springboard that made my channel like go next level. When I did my live stream for Outrun a month ago, that's the first time I did a live stream. I had 300 people in that live stream for unboxing Outrun. So,
dude, that's awesome, man. I gave it the same rating. Outrun sit down is a classic.
Yeah, and the stand up one, again, I would say in that same space, from a just a good overall cab, solid offering. I don't know if it's like A tier, like
I give it C. It makes me stand up to play a sit down driving.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be, I don't know. This one might be A tier for me. I don't know.
Well, you're still debating it. I love what Jamie said. Big Buck was a B tier, but Mrs. Kong made it an A tier.
Yes, she did.
That's true. There you go.
So are there any cabs, excuse me, oh my gosh, cabs currently in the C and D below that we could make an A?
No. Unless you want to go get your Beck Hunter outfit and make this an A.
I haven't eaten breakfast. I don't think so.
We can revisit that one more time with Mrs. Kong's or us. We should Buck Hunter Girls should be something that new can do too. I'm sure you have flannel somewhere, right? In your closet.
Oh yeah, it's a staple. Come on.
You're like when you're born, you're wrapped in a flannel blanket here. Are you kidding me? It's like
yeah. It could be
you
like that.
Hi, this is Mrs. Kong's Rest, and you know what they always say? Bigger is always fucking better.
Wow.
I don't know how you guys watch that. It's so like
A tier, S tier, Mrs. Kong's or us. Yeah, I'm gonna leave the outruns there just for right now. Okay, so let's get into the other ones. So the legacy cabs, Atari Legacy. Oh, this, I think I don't have this cab, but I really like the shape and design of this cab. So I think just for the fact that they're moving, this is one of the first cabs. Finally, they're starting to put unique shaped cabs together, and so I'm putting it up there. Just because of that game list too. It's one of the out of the legacy cabs. Even though I have Midway Legacy, I'm kind of on the fence about getting this still. If I could find one at a decent price, I would buy this Atari Legacy cab because it looks awesome.
Yeah, no, it's doo-doo butter for me.
Doo-doo butter? You don't like any of these old games?
Oh,
you're like, no.
Dude, those things, you gave it joystick with a button. That's all you had. Remember?
No, this is a spinner. It's like as a spinner, and you're like, nope. Tempest. All right. We can beg to a different. All right, so this Capcom Legacy is doo-doo butter for me. Like these legacy design cabs, even though it has a decent game list, the design of the cab and the Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition one, I don't know. This one was doo-doo butter for me for this particular cab because there's so many Street Fighter offerings. I know some people like this, but it just doesn't compare for me.
The newest models make those older models just look atrocious.
Yeah, for sure. Even Midway Legacy, I'm gonna put this in B tier for me, even though I have it. It's like the updated version of MK, but it has a good game list. But the design and the shape is still kind of funky for me. But that's a B tier for me.
Doo-doo butter for Zohar.
Doo-doo butter for Zohar. Okay.
Yep.
Do I have any other MKs that I'm missing on here? I'm trying to get through my stuff. All right, so let's go through the unreleased cabs. So Dragon's Lair and Space Ace right now are D tiers for now because they're unreleased. If they actually get released, I mean, all right, I'm trying to think about like where.
All right, while you're thinking, let's go back to chat. I want to say congratulations to Big Racy.
Big Reese.
Reese, yeah.
Big Reese says my wife is better. Also, she also says I need to build another arcade room because she's pregnant again.
Congratulations!
Congratulations.
Awesome, man. Yeah.
But you mean nursery, not arcade.
Yeah.
room.
Again, blasphemy. You're totally wrong about Frogger Cabinet. It's one of the best first gen designs. I think it could be, but it's just butt ugly in my opinion. So that's the only reason why it's a D tier. So but that's the whole problem about things. Okay, so Space Ace and Dragon's Lair, like if they make this happen, this would go up in my list. But since these are still spoofware and like no, it does not exist yet, they're gonna stay in my D tier until it comes into existence. Why is it on Arcade1Up's website if there's been no news about this for an entire year? So I'm just putting it here because I'm mad that they haven't had issues or like talking about what's gonna happen. I hope they redesign it, make it as big as Tron, and make the second screen in there. So I hope that's the reason why these two cabs. But until they actually re-show us what's going on with these, they're gonna stay on my D tier list.
Yeah,
all right,
I agree.
We're finishing up. Let's finish up some of these older cabs that we didn't really get to. So Asteroids and Asteroids Deluxe, these are going into my D tier because the Gen 1 cabinet controls were really bad. They released deluxe versions of these. So an Asteroids Deluxe and a 12-in-1. So Asteroids Deluxe, I'm still going to leave that here. The 12-in-1, though, I think has gotten a lot of like saying, hey, this is one of the best early Gen 1 cabinets for the value, and was actually pretty rare. On one side, it's Centipede. On the other side, it's Asteroids. So it's one of those like combo cabs. So it was really unique cab that was really hard to find, the 12-in-1. So I'm putting that in a C tier. Space Invaders had really nice artwork, and this was on sale, but I turned it into a Macross cab, and the controls really sucked. So I'm going to put that in my game here. Let's do
Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct. Ooh, so unreleased, but we've already gotten testing for this. I'm gonna make this A tier for me. Yeah,
it is an A.
Yeah, online
like for
play.
Anybody out there who's wondering, like guys, the quality is amazing. Like it really is.
Yeah, I think for now, I mean, you have the PCB already, so you've been testing it out. So, and I got to play it. I think it's definitely an A, not quite S from a nostalgic standpoint, but it could be some people's S tiers for sure.
Correct.
All right, X-Men 4-player online. I'm gonna give this an A for me. Just this is one of the most nostalgic arcades ever. So I think it's just really, really high up there. The online play. I think when it came out, I was like, Mrs. Kong's a Russ. I think she says you would say that that's probably like the most iconic arcade game that you played growing up. No,
that's definitely the one that you would play. Well, I mean, that and Simpsons was the one that you would play at the Pizza Hut arcade all the time.
So yeah, speaking of Simpsons, I'm also gonna put that. Oh, sorry, not S tier, but A tier as well. Yeah. So just from the online play capability, the bowling game is really fun.
Yeah, you really like the bowling game.
I did. It was fun. It was fun. It was a fun game for me.
That's a PlayStation game, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
No. It was a real arcade game, but I think
really
it became a PlayStation game. Yeah,
I don't know. They might have released other ports of it.
I remember I never played in the arcades. But I played it before.
There's very, very few arcade versions of it out there, but yeah, I think a lot of people's first time playing it will be on the Simpsons Arcade1Up cab.
Okay.
All right, so this Marvel, all the Marvel superheroes get D tier. There's QVC version that was on there. The reason why it's on here 3 times is because it's on the Arcade1Up website 3 times, but they're missing some of these other cabs. All right, Big Blue. All right, Big Blue.
It's S plus.
I want to say from a fighting game standpoint, yes. All right, I have to give it an S tier too. Yeah.
What?
Give me your logic. Give me your logic.
Play this
one. That? I do play it. It's probably my second most played cab after Marvel vs. Capcom. But my problem originally about this cab still, is some of the design of it still doesn't scream Street Fighter to me. Like I never played Big Blues for me. Yeah. So I think I would have been happy with the online play if it wasn't a more iconic Street Fighter cabinet design for me. So like I didn't have that affinity for Big Blues specifically. So that's why I kind of wavered on the design principle for it. How about you,
man? For me, it's that this is the minimum expectation going forward.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, Arcade1Up. If you don't produce something of this quality, you're probably not going to get my money.
You're my boy, Blue. Mrs. Kong's arrest speaks the truth.
I'm hoping this is about the fact that he doesn't play Big Blue as much, but
Yeah.
I think it might be the X-Men one.
Yeah, look at these. Original spinner was a joke. Yeah, the original controls were really, really bad. Definitely for sure for those Gen 1 cabinets. All right, we're getting down to our final couple games. Let's go to some of these reskins first. So Pac-Man Galaga reskin. So this is essentially the Pac-Man version, just reskinned as Galaga. So that's gonna go in the same B tier. Because it's the same as the Pac-Man one. It looks really clean too for the Galaga fans. The Defender Midway Legacy also B tier as well. So that one is pretty. Actually, this might go in my C tier because this is actually weird for me. Because the reason why, even though it looks like Defender on the outside, the control scheme is still Mortal Kombat. So like, because it has the Mortal Kombat games on it.
Was this
so
one that was at Costco?
It's a Walmart exclusive right now, but it's the Midway Legacy cab. But they just reskinned the Defender because it has the Midway game on it. But the control scheme has to be Mortal Kombat because that's the game that needs that button layout. So it's weird to put a marquee game without the unique controls for that particular cab. So that falls on my list because of that. Yeah. But some people that like Defender versus Mortal Kombat, that works for them. All right. Fair enough. These unreleased cabs, Ridge Racer and T2, we don't know what these are going to be like yet. But from a design standpoint, this might be really high on some people's lists, but I'm gonna put T2. I'm gonna put T2 in my C tier.
Do you know what kind of guns they're gonna be?
That's the reason why, because I'm such a stickler for controls, and the fact that these controls, yes, they had to make compromises because it's 3/4 scale. It's a pickup light gun using Sinden technology. I don't know. I just can't get on board with that style of the game for it. Like if I was gonna make a T2 cab, I needed it to be more closer to the original. So that's just my opinion about it.
I gave it an A for contractual reasons. No,
whoa.
No, I gave it an A because of multiple things. One, the history of that cab is legit. Two, guys, that is Arnold Schwarzenegger's likeness on the side. Like it's legit. Like when you look at that cab and then you look at the original, for the nostalgia factor, I gave it an A. And I love T2 in the arcade. Like the mounted guns. Like you're making me think B tier because of I don't know the light gun technology, so that might be
okay. I think to your point, like the nostalgia factor probably is making me bring it back up into my B tier because I have these other cabs here. I can't make it lower than some of these other ones. Just from a pure nostalgia standpoint, I would say at minimum B tier from a quality standpoint. But like the experience is not going to be what you remember. You're going to be like gangster style, like holding the gun sideways, playing.
No, it's got to be a giant mounted gun, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, AWOL 101 was saying gun games need a bigger screen. Mikey J Production says just buy a light gun.
Just buy a light gun. That's true. T-Con can only have one game. It only has one game too. Just one game.
And it deserves a B.
Yeah.
Goes down.
Yeah, it's just a one gamer, and it's expensive. It's like $800, so $759, something like that. All right, so Ridge Racer has not come out yet, but it does look pretty. I'm gonna put this in B tier. It's gonna have
the pedals.
Yeah, the pedals. It looks from a design cab standpoint, like I think this looks better than Outrun, even though Ridge Racer wasn't as popular, I think, as Outrun, but it looks really nice. Their next racing cab is a B. It's not online play though. I think that's the other thing that I've heard about.
And there's no sit down option, so C tier for me.
But I thought you preferred the stand up.
No,
options.
He likes to sit down.
I want to sit down.
He wants to sit down. All right, so my final cab for folks that don't know, my latest true obsession with Tron is all the way up in my S tier. It is my absolute kind of new favorite cab to play.
To play?
Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun. It's a good game. The spinner and yoke or the trigger control, it's really fun. I have an obsession with joysticks. You love shaking your joystick, don't you? It's fun.
You know marijuana is legal in California. Oh my God.
Well, I mean, not even that, but just like the fact that there's so much little details on it, so many little light places.
So many. It's and
then when it glows with the black light, it looks really good.
Yeah, it's just. If you get it, it's one of the most marquee standout things in your arcade room. The height, the lighting, the modding capability for me too. I've already modded to put a PC, put other games in it. I'm playing like Raiden and other games, and it's just really fun. There's just like, it's one of those games. Yeah, super
Curtis,
marquee for me.
Arcade said Tron should be downgraded to an A because of the weak support on the bottom.
This is true. MDF was not up to snuff quality, was not S tier quality on that. But
everyone's agreeing with the Tron being in the S tier.
Yeah, S tier. Tron's the best looking arcade. Tron is fun with the real controls. Look at that. But yeah, it's hard to judge games that like, and I don't have all 50 cabs. So some of these people, I can't judge everything 100% accurately because I have it. But you know, it's just based on what you know. So here's my final tier list. How's it compared to yours? What were your S tier rankings, Rev?
Marvel, Big Blue, and NBA Jam, because the opportunity for engagement, the online play, and the titles themselves are all quality. A tiers pretty much match up with yours. I took Tempest out. Like anything before 88, really? Like that plays on like a plays on like a BlackBerry.
Yeah.
I can't get into the old games. Like some nostalgia, right? Like Rampage and stuff like that. But like my hardcore arcade experience happened basically from like 91 on. Like, and that's when I lived in an arcade, right? So from before that, it was at home stuff.
Yeah, if people saw this and they like are just joining, they're like, why do I have Street Fighter 2 up here in Capcom Legacy? It was just because it was my gateway drug. The first one that I ever bought was in here. But if I had to rank my S tiers from like top 4, honestly, I think Marvel would be my top cab because it's my #1 play cab. Then we would go Star Wars. And then I think I'm going to go Tron and then Big Blue last in my S tier. That's just my personal S tier ranking. So my top 4 Arcade1Up cabs: Marvel, Star Wars, Tron, Big Blue. That's my thing.
Oh,
the key here is to like ask yourself, which cabinets have you actually paid for? And Marvel and X-Men I have paid for by a quarter for every loss that I've taken.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I played that game so many times. I still play it every night. In fact, Mrs. Kongzos can hear it when I'm slamming those controls, trying to like take somebody out and get really pissed.
Slapping the boys around. Well, that is the tier list. Hope that was fun, Rev, to join in on a Sunday. New, did you have any nostalgia for any of these games? Do you have your own S tier ranking? If you saw that list, what would be your top list on that?
Well,
for you?
So for me, it's different, right? Because when he's considering buying a cab, it's okay, how much you're going to play it? Are you really going to play this, or is it going to sit there, right? Mm-hmm. If you're going to spend that much money, what does it look like? I like to see the artwork on the side. I mean, these are beautiful, right? The ones that he got. And then because it's taking up space in your house, right? You have to look at it. And then for me, it's also like if somebody came over, if you had a party with friends, would they play? Would they get on there and play? And that's the one that's interesting for me because Tron is something that I think people would gravitate towards because it's so beautiful, right? Yeah. It's like, ooh. And then I'm not sure, is it one of those cabs where people who aren't gamers could easily have fun playing it?
It's so simple. So I think that's that's like some people are talking
like
about
20 minutes playing that one.
Yeah, just the 80s games in general, like those classic games. Those are the ones where it's my kid was playing Defender yesterday and was like, this is so fun. Like, it's just like little things like that there.
For sure, Tron has that feel like I was a kid who grew up with like a PC that you still had to like plug in a floppy, right? C run and then call whatever the floppy name was. Mm-hmm. But it had that joystick control to it too. Mm-hmm. And I would say it has like both the look and the feel of it. So if you've ever played like super old school computer games with a joystick, this is definitely one of it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So
you grew up in Atari in 1990.
Yeah, so this was fun doing the show, doing some rankings. Everybody's going to have their own different versions of this. If you want to make your own tier list, by the way, again, go to the description of this video. You can click on that same link and do this exact same thing.
Actually,
snap a picture of it. Yeah, we'd love to see it. If you want to email it to me, actually, let's do a little fun thing. If you want to email me at kongzarus.arcade.
Why can't they post it onto the community?
Because we don't have a place where they can post it. You can join my Facebook group. You can do that. I have a Kongzarus Facebook group that you can join and do it.
There.
You can email it to us. You can.
Let's be efficient.
Yes, let's just post it wherever you want to. But if you want to send
we
it to
don't
me,
want 100 emails coming at us.
We'll see. I'm kind of curious if people want to email it to me just for kicks too. I'll post it, or you can.
Hi. So you can email Kong or post a picture of your tier list on his Facebook page. You definitely don't want to miss that.
I'm back.
There we go. And Kong's back. So that's what you can do.
Don't press the escape keyboard on your little button.
How fun was that for a like hot moment?
Woo!
You're in charge of the show, Rev. That's why we have a co-host, so that you don't have dead air, right?
Sweet goodness. I was like, I clicked something.
The gremlins are back. The gremlins are back. I was putting into the chat my email address if you want to email me, kongzarus.arcade@gmail.com if you want to email it there. All right. Anything else going on, Rev, this week?
Yeah,
Oh, wait.
heading out there, man. Gonna be working, gonna be in LA. Gonna have a little bit of fun with you. Hopefully we can grab a burger and a beer. And
Good.
I'm actually looking, I don't know if we'll have time. We'll see how it works, but I'm planning to head out if I get time on Wednesday, and I think it's still Wednesdays, to Frank and Sons. So for people who are not
Ooh,
from California,
fancy.
8
Frank
o'clock,
and Sons was like, that was one of my favorite places ever in Hacienda.
5 to 8 or 8 to
Yeah, it's in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
so I'm
good.
gonna try to do a little Papa Brad's. I'm gonna bite Papa Brad's little gimmick there and do a little coverage on that if I can.
Yeah.
It's a bitty coverage.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Just by the way, the tier list only included the uprights and not any of the Pong tables or anything else that was there.
Sit
Do you
down,
see your
that kind of
move?
stuff.
He's trying to play
Oh.
Marvel versus Capcom. Who wants to
Oh,
jump
he
online
is.
right now? He actually
Oh
turned
my
it
God,
on.
Look at this. My cat's playing Marvel right now. There he is.
Dude.
He's actually selecting.
He's
Oh
trying
no,
to
he's
Felice.
trying to get
Oh, he just-
Ryu.
He just picked Chun-Li and Ryu. And
Your
he's
cat
doing
literally
manual.
just picked a team,
and
picked
turned.
normal mode and turbo,
He's joining right now.
and selected an assist.
Yeah. Did you see that?
I'm watching. Kong's cat is playing Marvel, and Kong's cat is also busting out a combo, going up and down. The cat is licking its paws and
He's
licking something
slapping.
else. Holy cow! Put the paws on the glass. That cat's got 4 of them out there.
Oh, he
Getting his butt
taunted.
whooped.
He taunted. He taunted with. I know it's hard to see, but
The cat is taunting, folks. The cat is taunting. He's saying, "Bring it, Papa. You got nothing on me." Oh my God, dude.
Oh man, that was too good. Awesome.
If he's
All right.
positioned right, he could just down block for you the entire time if you ever have to go to the
I
bathroom.
know he's playing better than Welcome to Die. Come
Actually,
on, we can.
he punched Spider-Man at one point.
Damn! You burned on his birthday.
I can't help myself because it was too easy. It's too easy for the taking. But anyways, thank you so much for joining. Please, consider subscribing, doing all that good stuff. Yeah. Anything else you want to say, Mrs. Kongzares?
I'm just watching this game.
We're
It's
just
so enthralling.
enjoying the cat going to town. Everybody have a wonderful rest of your Sunday afternoon.
Thanks for joining
We
us.
appreciate it. We'll see you
Oh,
next
thank
time.
you,
Yeah,
Rev, and
everybody.
you for joining us
Thanks,
as
Rev.
well.
See you guys later.
Always, guys.
Bye.
Always. Thanks for having us.